is they did drop a clip of the Black Widow movie, which comes out Friday. They call it the prison break scene. Let's take a look at that trailer first. Then we'll break down what's going on with a man trying to attack the movie, trying to attack Marvel, and trying to attack Scarlett Johansson all at the same damn time. Here we go with the trailer.
You made a scene, didn't you?
What now?
We're getting you out of here. Go to the upper level. Move your ass, super soldier.
I want to keep in mind, because that's going to come in handy with the watch. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let me give you guys the beef. I like to. We're going to check out the movie anyway, but we wanted to give you guys a little bit of what's going on. This man right here, who was in the very first Blade movie, he was actually the villain in the Blade movie, and he's in True Detectives. Actor Stephen Dorff says he's embarrassed for Scarlett Johansson for appearing in garbage Black Widow. He goes on further to say this. Dorff is not the only person, excuse me, wrong clip. He goes on further to say, it looks like garbage to me. He continued, it looks like a bad video game. I'm embarrassed for those people. I'm embarrassed for Scarlett. I'm sure she got paid $5-7 million bucks, but I'm embarrassed for her. I don't want to be in those movies. I really don't. I find that kid director that's going to be the next Kubrick, and I'll act for him instead. Damn, so he went after Kevin Feige on top of that. And they even had they even highlighted a little more when they talked about some of the other people who's been bashing the superhero genre, yada, yada, yada. All right, let me give you guys my take, then I'll come to you, Mooch. First of all, look at this dude. This is what he dressed up as, what was this, maybe 20 years ago playing Blade. And now you got the audacity to be bashing the MCU when it's up and rolling good. This sounds like either some sour grapes or just somebody took a large shot of haterade to me. Either you mad Scarlett Johansson didn't give up the draws to your ass, or Kevin Feige didn't sign you to play in a Marvel movie. It's one thing to say that you don't like a movie and to talk about the director and the showrunners and all that. It is another thing to grossly attack them in the way you just did. Sound like a hater to me, but Muchella, I could be wrong. Speak on it. What do you think?
I think he probably tried out for the movie and they told him no.
Moochie, we can barely hear you.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me a little bit better?
A little bit now.
How about now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. He played Deacon Frost, right? In Blade.
Yep. That's him right there.
I think he probably tried out to he probably did want it to be in the next movie, and they probably told him, we're not looking for that look or something like that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It sounds like a bitter person. You're having a lot of bitter people on tonight. When we get to the next one, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Larry, jump on in there. Sour grapes. Who he really mad at? He mad at Scarlett because she didn't give up them red draws.
I think that there's just a lot of actors in Hollywood that just have an issue with the superhero movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because I hear this quite a bit when I listen to some actors on these talk shows sometime, or when they show up on one of these actors, forums or something. And a lot of them poo-poo superhero movies, and I think for some people, I think they constantly are thinking about superhero movies in the same vein of the the DC Superman goody two shoe type superhero movies, and they're not thinking of Marvel, where the characters are often really more gritty, more flawed, more real people. Even though they're super, they're super. They're more realistic in the sense that they're naturally flawed humans or superhumans or whatever. And I think some people just like, my brother is just not really into superhero movies. And I'm like, dude, these are good stories. You could, I mean, to me, I'm not going to discount a good story because it's a superhero movie. I think that's the thing that Marvel has done, with the MCU, is they have taken, the best, I think for the most part, the best stories out of these comic books, and they've made some really great movies. And some people are just upset because they think of superhero movies as kids movies, and they're like, I want to do something. Actors are always trying to be highfalutin. I want to do this big drama. I want to do this. I want to do some action or some sort of period piece or some big, deep emotional drama or whatever. And the fact of the matter is, you get all of that in Marvel. You get all kinds of stuff. You get action, you get adventure, you get romance, you get real drama. You get everything. And so for a lot of people, they're like, I'm getting all of that right here in the MCU. Why do I need to look elsewhere? And there's a lot of actors who have embraced that, and you can see they're making a crap ton of money off of it and enjoying their life and their fame and here's the other thing too, is that superhero movies do attract kids. They attract adults because we love them, but they also attract kids. And if you don't think that you need to attract a younger audience, that you are just fooling yourself. I mean, you look at some of the people that are out there today who have found entirely new, I don't want to call them new, second wins of their career because of younger audience. Look at Betty White. Not that she's in the MCU, but she should be. But look at Betty White. She was on Golden Girls, and she had her career long before that. And then she went on Golden Girls and found a whole new audience. I didn't know who Betty White was. I saw her on Golden. She was hilarious. And then in the recent years, she's found a whole new audience again because she's been out there putting in that work and doing funny stuff that appeals to a younger audience. I think some of these people are just, I don't even know why. I can't even call them bitter, because they're not like the people that I'm thinking of are not like people who aren't working. They're out there. They're working actors. They're doing stuff. They're in movies. They're on TV programs. They're working. I just don't understand why they have so much animosity towards these superhero movies, because they're good movies.
I think some of it goes to various different roots. Some of them are old school, and like you said, Larry, they consider comics kiddish, but they don't understand that what Kevin Feige has done so eloquently, all the elements that you traditionally have in other movies, he's been able to blend them into a superhero genre, which has taken these movies beyond just the reach of comic book nerds and comic geeks across America. He's given them drama, like you said, Larry. He's given them it's somewhat of an aesthetic appeal. He's put good soundtracks on them. He's put these movies where they're family oriented at times. He's put good stories in these movies, and a lot of people just don't like it. And that's to their detriment, because I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, comics are not going to get smaller. They're only going to get bigger, because these stories have been around since the 30s. And now that someone has been able to put these on the big screen in a way that they cross genre for different groups of people, they're not going anywhere. You can be remaking some of these stories over and over again, and they're only going to get better. So I would say, my man, tell us why you're really mad. Did you try to get on a date with Scarlett and she said no, and you don't like some of the men she's been with? Did you try to holler at Kevin Feige and he said no, we're going in a different direction with Blade, and now you're really mad? There were some people in our comments saying this is going to be the end of his career. It's not going to be the end of his career. A seasoned actor like him, you can at least get a job in Tyler Perry Studios or some other studio if nothing else works. So it's not the end of his career. But in terms of, I
don't even know why he would think he would be a part of the new Blade.
Well, I mean, because a lot of people from the old Blade wanted in on this. Like, you've heard them talk about Wesley wanting to be in, and there's still rumors he might be the new Whistler. The old guy that played with, He should
Yeah,
be.
but his
I think
character,
he should be.
but Blade never died. Deacon Frost got taken out.
Well, you can reanimate the story and put him in, but Kevin Feige don't do that. That's not what Kevin Feige does. Kevin Feige don't do that. He don't do that. And at the end of the day, you could have, if he wanted to be in the movie, you could have had him in there doing something else. You know, he didn't have to be Deacon Frost. He could have been some subordinate in the movie. He could have been anything else in the movie, but he's not. And I mean, hey, entitled to his opinion, but you're also going to be entitled to the criticism you're going to get because your opinion sounds very, very haterous. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it sounds really petty. It just sounds like it really does. It sounds like a lot of pettiness going on. Like to try and say that he's to the point that he's embarrassed for her. Mm-hmm. I thought to myself, really, that's where you're going to go with this? Is you're embarrassed for? I mean, there's like I haven't seen the movie yet, but I've watched some of the reviews from some of the fine reviewers out there, like, you know, like Brandon Keith Avery from over there at Just My Opinions. And
be sure to subscribe. Be sure to subscribe to both of those channels. Brothers. Yep.
You know, I've seen some of those reviews. I've seen the trailers. It doesn't look like there's anything in this movie to be embarrassed about. Like, no. I don't know if it's going to be the best movie. I don't know if it's going to be hilarious and funny, or if it's going to be just super action packed, or if it's just going to be good drama. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, but from everything that I've seen, it doesn't look like there's anything to be embarrassed about.
No. And ladies and gentlemen, me and my wife are going to see it Friday. We're going to try to have the review up Friday before we go live as well. So
you're going to go to the theater?
Yeah, we're going to the theater with the mask on. Y'all go ahead and go attack my man's Twitter. Tell him he can suck it. And has he even seen the movie yet? I don't know. Probably has.
I don't all he's probably seen is the trailer, and I think he sounds bitter. That's my opinion, because he was in a dark. He was in that Marvel movie, even though who you said didn't direct it, but they basically set off the whole super movies with Marvel. So I think he's kind of bitter because he's not part of this.
Yeah, well, in the event,
some kind of UFC movie too. I saw that,
and he did good in this. He's a fine actor, but I mean, But to me, this sounds like it has deeper roots than just hating on the movie and Scarlett and Kevin Feige.
Definitely.
See, here's the thing. To me, it sounds like maybe he just doesn't have. Maybe he's just one of those people who just doesn't like superhero movies. But it seems to me like if you want to be a part of the MCU, if you look at him like that, he's older. He's starting to show gray. He has a beard. You could if I just saw him like that, I would never associate him with Deacon Frost. So he could have very easily have gone into the MCU and played an older sort of like some sort of older character, some older elder god or something, somebody else.
He could have been the new Old Man Logan if they decide to put Old Man Logan in this timeline jumping that they're doing. He could have done that.
I mean, the dude has the physical physique for it.
He's kind of short too.
Yeah, he would have fit it perfect. He has
the physique for it. He's a little bit older. I mean, he could have done it. I mean, there's no need to poo-poo superhero joints or this movie because I don't know why. I mean, there's just no need for it. I don't even understand why do it. I mean, really, to be honest with you, I'm thinking to myself, I mean, I know you're in Hollywood. Sometimes your ego gets beyond you, but I'm thinking to myself, there's no reason to poo-poo anybody in Hollywood unless they're doing something that's, offensive, and then you might have to speak out. But, like somebody should have spoke up and said something about Ralph Fiennes before he decided to play Michael Jackson. But, unless someone's doing something offensive, let people do their thing. Who cares if they make I mean, let's be real. I'm sure if we go back to IMDb and look at Stephen Dorff's, his filmography, I'm pretty sure there's a couple of serious stinkers in there that he's embarrassed of. And that's going to happen, I think, with anybody who does a creative project. Some of your stuff is going to fall flat, and you're going to be like, oh, that wasn't a good idea, Well,
I can tell you right now, these comments probably wasn't the best idea, but we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes.